What up, YouTube fans? This is Zuby Masters returning to my Let's Play of Triangle Strategy.
We granted you an audience because of Minister Exham's petition, but I did not expect you to show us this. A crystal made of salt. How very fascinating. It certainly does contradict the doctrine here in our blessed land. Or it would, were it real. Have you any proof that this was not created by magic or technology?
Well, with all due respect, Minister, I have a question for you in return. What do you think of Asfrost and Glenbrook's decree to stop trade with Hyzant?
I think it nothing more than a threat. Neither would last very long without our salt.
Gustadov is no fool. Such an edict would not come without proper countermeasures in place. Countermeasures such as another source of salt, for example. Having their own salt would make Hyzant's redundant, at best, and your nation would soon find itself in dire straits without the salt tax's revenue.
What is it you want from us?
Your full support.
Lend us your strength, and together we can defeat Asfrost, and Hyzant's ties to all nations will remain intact.
You mean to start a war. The kingdom of Glenbrook may be naught but a puppet now, but it was once your homeland. You understand this, yes?
We do.
Even so, my people do not wish for war. We must try to resolve this peacefully first.
Do you think Gustadov can be reasoned with? Need I remind you that it was he who invaded Glenbrook? He is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Be that as it may, neither my people nor soldiers will accept it as a reason to go to war.
Then I shall give you one. For I am the second son of King Regna. Roland Glenbrook.
You live.
There is no mistaking that face.
Huh. So the prince lives to slay his kingdom's invader. We could not ask for a better reason.
If you need a just cause to go to war, let it be me. We must stop Gustadov.
It all makes sense now. O Holy One, have you heard? Pray, tell me what you would have us do. It shall be done. Wolfort, Prince Roland, heed the words of the Holy One. The holy state of Hyzant stands with you. The Holy One would see you defeat Asfrost and restore peace to Nozelia. Our nation shall spare no effort in your fight against Gustadov. From this day forth, we support Prince Roland as our commander and Lord Serenoa as one of the Saintly Seven.
Me? A saint?
We are brethren now. We ride to war together.
Well, would you look at that? We secured Hyzant's support, and you even got yourself named one of the Saintly Seven.
We also received a signed document stating the Roselle and Wolford are left in our care.
Good going, lad.
Oh, it is Benedict and Roland to whom we owe this victory.
Everyone here has suffered so much on my behalf. My weakness and worthlessness have brought pain and misfortune to you all. And for that I must apologize.
You've got nothing to apologize for. I already told you. House Wolfort's the sword and shield of the crown.
I've decided that I must press forward, even if it means crawling forth on my hands and knees. I ask for your support as always. I know I will need it.
And you shall have it. I am with you every step of the way, my lord.
something the matter, Federica?
No. My apologies for worrying you.
Now, to battle! We take back Glenbrook with our own hands!
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sycris's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else. Svarog's deception is nearing its climax. His ill-gotten profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
We mustn't forget the matter of the explosion sighted in the Wolford domain. We must make his precious death knell ours, and soon.
Death knell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
If we're to be wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
Very well. Tell her, Thalos.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft. Although yet to be tested, this cannon is said to have the power to breach even Hyzon's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But the shield is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzant to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Fool that he may be, he served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been made without his engineers and Dragan's research. He will die secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
If we can even approach the walls, brother, the trade embargo will ensure that Hyzant is especially wary of our actions.
On the contrary, their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure. But it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a force and march to the Hierophant's palace at once. Deliver to Hyzant my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Thalos, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need to ask, brother.
That is all. Now go.
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He has faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
Esfrost and Glenbrook remain strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant. Gustadolf sends Erica to Hyzant to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzant, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolfort of the Saintly Seven to prepare for retaliation. Softly but surely, Norzelia descends into war once more.
Those are the Archduke's wishes. I implore you not to forget that this is his final offer. Come to think of it, I heard that Wolfort was added to your saintly ranks. Where might he be?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. The dealings of the Saintly Seven are our business, and ours alone.
How disappointing. I had hoped to congratulate him on his promotion.
That wretched woman. Those are hardly wishes.
Esfrost all but demands us open the source to restore our diplomatic relations.
The Duchy fears neither a lack of salt nor the goddess's shield. Then assume they have a plan in mind.
Then this was no more than a ploy to stall for time. We had best expedite House Wolfort's plans to take the capital. Minister Exham, send word to Minister Serenoa.
You wish to lend us Hyzant's new weapon?
Yes, it was a directive from the Holy One. The weapon is one Minister Lila developed in secret.
I compressed a vast quantity of magic into crystal form. We call this weapon Elfrink. The blast crystals have yet to be perfected, but they can decimate a castle wall easily enough. You saw what Minister Exham did to this fort, did you not?
So those purple flames were from your crystals. This Elfrink you speak of.
We thank you for your support.
Be forewarned that their power makes them unwieldy in an average battle.
They are not meant to be used on people. Furthermore, we are only giving you a single blast crystal.
Regardless, I am certain it will come in handy while recapturing Whiteholm Castle.
Its incomplete nature makes it regrettably tricky to use, but Milo should be able to take care of that for you. Use them both wisely.
I am Milo. A dancer by trade, but assistant to the Saintly Seven on occasion. I shall serve you, Minister Serenoa, until we reclaim the capital.
You sure you'll be okay?
You needn't worry. It isn't my first time flirting with danger.
A Hyzantian spy?
Very likely.
The blast of the Elfrink should help you catch the enemy unawares. Both my army and Minister Camsel's will join in the attack. Can we entrust command to you, Minister Serenoa?
Most certainly. And the crystal will be key in our plan to reclaim Glenbrook.
tidings from Erica. She says Hyzant refused our final offer.
You seem surprised. There was no way Hyzant would agree to open the source.
I know that, but the negotiations were meant to buy us time. Yet it seems their soldiers are already on the move. Damn it all! This wasn't supposed to happen.
If you play with fire, you get burned. Now we have no recourse but to meet them in battle without the Archduke.
So it has come to war then?
We just have to beat them at their own game. Their newest saint is heading the vanguard. You must be delighted that a former retainer to the crown is coming to visit, right, Cordelia?
Enough, Thalos. I won't allow such impudence toward the Queen.
Queen? This child is nothing more than a puppet. And I believe the impotent one here is you, Avlora. A general has no right telling the Prime Minister what to do.
I had no idea the Prime Minister's job was to torment the weak.
Enough, General Avlora. I will answer the Prime Minister. As the Queen of Glenbrook, I shall protect my kingdom until my dying breath, no matter who may stand against me.
It appears your impudence is contagious, Avlora. Your charge knows not how powerless she is.
Worry not, Your Majesty. I shall protect you.
Because I am to wed the Archduke?
Because you are a warrior. One who does not give up, even if she must fight her battles alone. I was an orphan. I never knew my parents. I entered the army to make a place for myself. So I know better than anyone the pain of having to do everything on your own.
Allow me to bare my heart to you as well, General Avlora. As the last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, I do not intend to let Gustudolf have his way.
You mean to strike down the Archduke?
But I lack the power to do so. Have you heard of the Royalists? The aristocrats who were aid to my father.
I have. I also heard they secretly indulged in bribes and the like for personal gain. That man Patriot was cozying up to the Archduke not seconds after King Regna's beheading. Their kind knows no loyalty.
Indeed. But Gustudolf has not given any of them a position in his court, so they have fallen on hard times. I want to ask Patriot and the other royalists for their help.
Are you mad? No doubt they would wholeheartedly embrace you as their symbol, but only for their own purposes.
I understand that. But their years in service to the crown have earned them great influence in politics. I must have their support if I'm to reclaim Glenbrook.
Is it possible for you to rein them in?
Not alone. But with you, General Avlora, I can. They lack military might. If you accompany me, I could sway them to my cause. Please, General, lend me your strength.
As an Esfrosty general, I simply cannot turn a deaf ear to what you've told me. Did you not think I would tell the Archduke of your plans?
Of course I did. But I refuse to stand idly by as a mere decoration. So if it meant earning your trust, I was willing to show you that I wish to protect Glenbrook by any means necessary.
You took a gamble.
I had to. For it is not status or reward that moves you.
So you bet on my honor, and refusal would sully my name forever. However, safeguarding the kingdom comes first. Fighting at your side will have to wait.
General of Laura!
A word of advice, Your Majesty. Both Hyzant and the Archduke are veterans of war. The fight will not be an easy one, and may rage on for many years.
Even so, I will not falter. I must do this. For my father and brothers.
An admirable resolve. One which I will see fulfilled. I shall be your sword and shield, my queen.
Thank you, General of Laura.
Benedict asked me to scout out Teleorn where the Esfrosti soldiers are stationed. But I hardly see any around. Why did he ask me to come here in the first place? I doubt it would matter in reclaiming the capital. But orders are orders. I should report back.
I apologize, but are you suggesting we destroy the dam around Teleor Reservoir to start a flood?
The capital city was built on the banks of the Norzelia River. Breaking the dam surrounding Lake Teleor upstream will allow us to submerge a majority of the city. Flooding the town will throw their army into disarray, which should allow us to take the place by storm.
Lake Teleor is a man-made reservoir. You might be able to burst through with a blast crystal.
Huette scouted the area earlier and reported seeing very few sentries. Proof enough that this is outside the Archduke's calculations.
No, the damage will be too great. The means would not justify the end, Benedict.
We cannot afford to lose.
I agree with Roland. There is already far too much blood on our hands. Perhaps it's worth speaking with the people and gaining their understanding.
Unless we reclaim Glenbrook, it's unlikely they'll understand or support our actions. We must take the capital back, and show our strength and resolve first.
So that means you stand by Benedict, then?
If we have a sure shot at winning, we need to take it. No matter the consequences. We can't lose the war. We just can't.
Teleor Reservoir is the kingdom's water source. The dam was constructed to protect the people from floods. I doubt they would ever forgive us should we choose to destroy it for war.
Glenbrook thrives because of that water, and to use it otherwise is inexcusable. Brute strength isn't the only way to reclaim the city. We can strike at night and defeat their commanding officers. There are ways to slip into the castle unseen.
If you have used it before, there is a chance it has been sealed off since.
There is more than one route. You needn't worry.
So you mean not to use the blast crystal?
No, I do. After we sneak in, we can sink Esfrost's warship. It would close off their escape route.
Our first priority should be ensuring the people's safety. We cannot allow them to be taken hostage. It would restrict our options as well.
She's got a point. But how do we take the capital back after that?
We could use the blast crystal to destroy the bridge connecting the town and the castle. The enemies would be stuck within the walls.
That would certainly mitigate the damages to the citizens. If we encircle the castle, we could negotiate with them.
We could ask them to yield, free Glenbrook, and re-establish the trade between our nations. I am certain we can find a way to make both parties agree.
Negotiate?
I understand your thoughts and the wishes held therein.
Allow me to ask once more. Shall we shatter the dam around Lake Telior and flood the town? Sneak in under the guise of night, sink their ships, and slay their commanding officers? Or destroy the bridge, safeguard the people, and negotiate with the enemy? Fetch the scales. It is time we decide our path.
You're onto something. I've made up my...
It is time to cast our votes. In which strategy do we entrust the future of Glenbrook? Approach the scales of...
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate... The way forward is decided. We collapse the reservoir and flood the capital, dealing a crippling blow to the enemy forces.
You will submerge the capital to win the battle. I see. So Wolford rules with military might. It is a thorny path you tread. Your people will resent you for this.
I know.
It would be unfortunate if you didn't, but that is what it means to rule with might. I must return to Hyzant and see Minister Kamsel. Next we meet, you will have both of our armies at your backs.
You have my thanks.
We cannot afford to lose this fight. For Norzelia.
I thought this battle was for Glenbrook.
This is not a simple struggle for power, Minister Sereno. The goddess, the source, iron? The war of 30 years ago comes back to haunt us because the old cling to relics of the past. Norzelia needs to be born anew. Right now, the people of every nation are searching for a young standard-bearer to guide them.
A standard-bearer?
Yes, people like you and me. This war is a fine opportunity for us to show our worth to Norzelia.
House Wolfort and Hyzant join forces and begin planning Glenbrook's recapture. But with the Norzelia River and the Esfrosti armies in their way, retaking the capital will be no easy feat. Benedict hatches a plan to break the dam, flood the capital, and use the ensuing chaos to take Whitehome Castle. Serenoa and the others know that the city will not escape unscathed, but are left with no recourse if they wish to defeat the enemy in one fell swoop. In support of House Wolfort, Hyzant's great army marches forth for the first time since the Salt Iron War.
Lady Destra, we finally have the upper hand. The path we tread was not an easy one, but Lord Serenoa persevered and has become a fine leader because of it. Once we reclaim the capital and restore the kingdom to its former glory, we may finally see peace. My job will soon be over. Please, pray for Wolfort's success. What is it, my lord?
I've been searching for you. The soldiers are calling.
About the provisions, I presume. I shall take my leave.
Oh.
This is my mother's grave.
I see.
Benedict visits her in place of her unworthy son. He is a cool-headed man, but undoubtedly more than just that.
But of course.
Frederica, would you visit my mother's grave with me?
Are you certain?
Of course.
Then I would love to.
General, it appears an army of Byzantine soldiers has arrived at Castle Wolfort.
No doubt they've come to take Whiteholm from us.
Oh no. Whatever will we do? It looks like they didn't take kindly to Brother's schemes.
Flora, dispatch an army at once.
There is no need. It is best we await them here. No matter how great an army they possess, they will not fell this stronghold easily. All we need to do is buy time. Once they realize what the Archduke is planning, they will tremble in fear.
That will put Esfrost in the same position as it was during the Salt Iron War, which, need I remind you, we lost.
Things are different than they were 30 years ago. They have no just cause for their actions. You understand, don't you, Your Majesty?
I do. I am the Queen of Glenbrook now. An attack on the capital constitutes treason toward the crown and their kingdom.
The people will not support someone without a cause. Without their backing, Wolfort cannot hope to win.
I refuse to acknowledge that pitiful little puppet as queen.
As do I. She disgusts me.
Personal emotions have no place on the battlefield. I cannot entrust anything to such fools, and the Archduke shall know of it.
Flora!
The nerve of that woman.
So the battle against House Wolfort begins.
Minister Serenoa, Minister Cancel and I have brought as many soldiers as we could.
Thank you for bringing reinforcements.
It was you who moved them. There has not been an army this great in Hyzant for 30 years. The Salt-Iron War also brought friends and foes together like this. We may have won then, but we had best not get cocky.
Of course. Which is why we have a strategy to ensure our victory.
Minister Exham gave me a brief overview of the plan. Coordination will be the key to our success.
Indeed. Let us go over the plan in detail.
Another war as big as the last. Just how great will the damage be this time?
Let us reconfirm our strategy. Benedict, if you would.
Our target, Whiteholm Castle, was built upon a sandbar in the Norzelia River. The city, sprawled upon the riverbank, is connected to the castle by a single bridge. The river and town are the greatest obstacles to invading armies.
I am well aware. I could not believe my ears when I heard of Esfrost's invasion.
We used the new mining venture to take us by surprise.
However, the Esfrosti army has solidified its defenses. They will likely spread their forces in front of the bridge.
It is the only path of entry. Geographically speaking, it would be impenetrable.
But we shall use that geography to our advantage. The surrounding river was originally prone to floods. But the kings of old spent years improving the river and created a dam upstream to control its water levels. We plan to explode that dam using your Elfric.
And create a deluge to cleanse the city of Esfrosti soldiers.
Indeed. It is a plan they can neither predict nor defend against. Their entire army will be swept away.
The people will not let you get away with that.
There was once a residence along the riverside for nobles and wealthy merchants. However, it is now occupied by Esfrosti aristocrats and officers.
That should mitigate Glenbrook's casualties.
But there will doubtlessly be deaths. Not to mention the lake is the kingdom's source of water, or so I hear. The price of victory will be the people's deep-seated hatred.
Ugh. I know, but I'm willing to assume any grudge they would bear.
Your resolve has been duly noted. I shall lend you my strength. On your signal, we shall enter the city and evacuate as many citizens as we can.
You are a kind man, Minister Camso. But this would incur quite a debt of gratitude. Allow me to lend a hand as well.
Thank you.
Milo, the blast crystal is capable of destroying the dam, yes?
Undoubtedly.
Excellent. Then our strategy is settled.
First, you two must put pressure on the capital. I wish for you to draw the attention of the Esfrosti army. We shall head to Telior and set the blast crystal.
It will explode tomorrow at daybreak.
Very well. May the fortunes of war favor us.
Hyzant and Wolf begin to put their strategies into action. To draw the eye of the Esfrosti forces, the Hyzantian army encircles the crown city of Glenbrook. Meanwhile, Serenoa and the others quietly make their way up the Norzelia River toward Telior, Elfric in tow. Though aware of the risks, they hope exploding the dam will flood the city below and rid it of the Esfrosti forces within.
As Huet reported, there are Frosty soldiers here, but not many.
Of course. The lake is a precious water reservoir for the kingdom.
Indeed, which is why House Tellior sealed themselves up here.
So now we wait until nightfall to set the blast crystal.
Before that, there are two things we must do. The first is to find a place for it. And the second is to disable the street lamps.
You mean those posts?
At night, the lamps draw on the power of rocks called lumistone to glow. We must remove them.
Then we'll split up into two teams. Benedict and Milo, I leave the lake to you. I shall take care of the street lamps.
Very well. Anna, Lord Serenoa's disguise.
It is ready.
To think the young lord capable of such a thing. He is a curious man, isn't he?
No, he isn't.
Constable Sycris reporting for duty. Esfrost has sent me to help patrol the area.
Welcome, Constable. If you don't mind my asking, what brings an officer to this lake?
I can't say for sure. I'm merely obeying orders.
It's the Constable. We can't let him see us.
That doesn't mean they are keen to our plan. Stick to the strategy.
Well, that's it for this video. Hope you like it and stay tuned.